If you know you want to do more with your money, but investing in the stock market makes you feel nervous or confused, I totally get it. There are tons of options available, and it can all be just really overwhelming, preventing you from doing anything with your money. Now, before I go too much further, I have to say I just celebrated my 40th birthday. That's why we got the balloons up, but please, it's not really part of the video. It's just, my name's Maggie. I'm a certified financial planner. I've worked for several large brokerage firms. And while I was there, I was constantly asking my clients how they gained their wealth, what they would do differently, if anything, and any advice they had for me. And the biggest thing that I heard over and over again was to start investing as soon as possible. Like, that's their biggest regret, is that they didn't start sooner. Waiting just 3 years to start can cost you around $100,000. This is if you invest $5,000 a year and if you get an 8% rate of return. The stock market, by the way, has historically returned an average of 10% per year. Even just 1 year can cost you $36,000. Okay, so hopefully that's motivating for you to get started, but it probably doesn't change the fact that you're still nervous. So let's talk about that. One thing that I like to do when I get especially nervous is to look through historical charts to see how the market has dipped down and shot back up time and time again over the years. That gives me hope that that trend is just going to continue. And if you think of us as consumers, we need products and services to get through our days. That means we're spending money. If we're spending money, companies are able to profit and grow and expand. And in return, as shareholders, we're able to benefit from that expansion and grow our wealth right alongside of that. So the historical charts can really be helpful in just letting you know that dips are to be expected. And if you're investing on a consistent basis, it's actually really good when the market drops because you get a buy-in at a discounted rate, which means you'll bounce back that much faster if you keep investing consistently, which is really hard to do when the market's dropping. You want to stop, or you will want to stop, but that's the time to keep going. And remember that the money that you're investing is for later, it's not for now. So obviously don't invest money that you need right now, but know that it's for later, and let that ease your fears with getting that money working for you. If you're confused or overwhelmed, of course that's normal because investing has just gotten more and more complex over the years. Let's keep things really simple. I'll give you a couple pointers here, and of course I have a couple other videos that can help with this. You need to just open an account, a retirement account, and a brokerage account would be great, but you could just keep it simple to start out with and get those nerves out of the way. Buy the S&P 500. This is what Warren Buffett recommends, and I think he said this is how he's going to recommend his heirs or his wife to keep investing if he passes away, or when he passes away. Once you buy an S&P 500 index fund, you can just invest consistently in that and keep it super duper simple. Of course, this isn't for somebody that's about to retire or needs that money in the next 5 or 10 years, but if you've got a little bit longer of a time frame than that, then that's how you can invest. You can also add in a couple other funds, but just to start out, to kind of get that ball rolling, calm the fears, get you used to investing, just start with something simple just like that. And keep in mind, there's no perfect solution. It's absolutely impossible to predict what's going to do best in the coming years. The main thing that we can do is get started, and don't take gambles on something that you're unsure of. Like, buy stuff that's normal, that you've heard of, that people use, that you use every single day. The S&P 500 is America's 500 largest companies in one basket. So that's kind of a concept that you could at least understand. If you're trying to, get the best return ever, and somebody told you about this biotech company and you really think it has a great chance, that's a gamble. That's something you put a small amount in if you want to, but that's not something you invest consistently in, because there's just way too much unknown for companies that have not yet proved themselves to be profitable and to be something that the market really needs, wants, and will pay for. Now, if you want to get started with investing and still the thought of it just prevents you from even getting any traction or making moves, I do work one-on-one with clients. You can check out my services linked below. I will say they're not the cheapest option. Like, learning for free on YouTube is obviously going to be the most affordable, but sometimes you just need that extra look at what you're doing to gain the confidence to get you going. Once you're ready to invest in yourself and realize that not doing so can cost you thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, like, it's worth the investment, obviously, to go ahead and get the support that you need to get your money invested and growing for you and for your future. This can prevent you from working forever. There is no end in sight unless you create one. You're not just gonna wake up one day with a chunk of money. Unless you get started, it's never going to appear. People always wanna wait to get started, like, I'll wait till my expenses are lower, or my life is more simple, or I have more time. None of that is likely to happen. You're probably going to have less time in the future, less money in the future. If you can't afford it now, you're not gonna be able to afford it in the future unless you're actively working to increase your income, you're actively working to lower your expenses. But those are things you can probably at least do on a small basis right now. You can probably find ways to cut some spending out of your budget if you want to just get started with something to get the ball rolling. A lot of times, that's just what it takes. That little bit of momentum to help you realize, like, it's not as confusing as it seems. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. You can choose to keep things really simple if you tune out the noise, focus on what's in front of you, and keep investing consistently, and then add to it as your income increases, as your expenses reduce, as your confidence grows, as you're just feeling less nervous, you just are able to add more and more. If you're starting with a chunk of money, you don't have to dump it all in. You could take it and divide it up over 6 months. You could divide it up over a year. Sometimes I see people sitting on a ton of money because they're just so nervous to get it invested. If that's you, don't dump it all in at once, because the market could drop tomorrow and then you're gonna feel really terrible. If you're a nervous person, invest it over time. Just stick to a dollar amount, stick to a time frame. That takes all the emotions out of it and makes it so much easier for you to get your money growing for you. Really stress the importance of getting your money invested, not delaying out of fear, especially not out of lack of knowledge. It really can be something you learn from watching a couple of these other videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.